why don't you guys tell me a little bit? So we have Allison and Bridget from Brick and Batten. Tell us a little bit about the company, how you started, what do you guys do, what do you offer? I mean, for any lady who's listening today and they're a Pinterest fan, I'm sure they have seen you guys.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so Brick and Batten is a virtual exterior design company that we started in 2017 because we saw kind of a hole. I was flipping houses, and what basically happened is that I wanted to paint my brick, but I was terrified to do it. I wanted to see it first. And I looked online to see if there was a service out there that did that. And this was actually before 2017. So I had looked all over. There was no service out there doing it. And it just always was kind of in the back of my mind as I wish this business existed. If it did, it would be a product I would consume. I love design like you. I love all things Pinterest, all things. I watch all of it. I read Architectural Digest. I'm one of those
Yeah.
people. So the years went by, and I pitched the idea to my sister, who's also my business partner. And she loved it and was just like, I want to do this with you. It'll be super fun. And then very early on, Bridget came on, and we launched Brick and Batten. Very early days, we didn't have clients. So we would just literally go out and take pictures of houses and kind of pretend they were our clients. And we would do the virtual transformation using Photoshop. And then we would post them on social media as if they were our clients. And then it kind of just took off from there, where we started getting real customers. And then it grew and it grew and it grew. And now it's where it is now.
It is so cool to see a virtual transformation before you even commit to it. And the beauty about it is you can actually go through and make tweaks a little bit here and there. But I love that because you don't have to commit until you know for sure this is exactly what you want to do.
That's exactly right. And what we always say is like it costs the same amount of money to paint your house the wrong color as it does the right color. So being able to see it empowers you to do it right the first time. And the way you love it, it's like you can see it a few different ways and make a really great decision versus just diving in and spending money that, first of all, isn't going to come back to you when you go to sell your house, but also that you love and you can be super excited about.
And the nice thing about what you guys offer is the fact that the materials that you're using, because we work with you guys on quite a few projects, they're materials that you can get at Home Depot.
Yeah, and we actually have a place where people submit, and Bridget can talk more to our vendors, but where people can say they want budget friendly. And then we really try to lean into our Home Depot Lowe's partnerships that people can DIY a lot of it. Some people will come to us and say, we are doing this ourselves. So we make everything in that respect very accessible. And then Bridget heads up all our vendor relationships and knows about all these products. So many times our designers will reach out to Bridget and be like, hey, these people want wood, they're budget friendly, and they live in Alaska. It's not going to hold up. What do I do? And I'll let Bridget speak to that, but that's really helpful too, because then it's like we can look at where you live and pick the best product for the best price that will return on investment.
Yeah, it's really about just deciding what those key factors are in selecting the materials, and a lot of that has to do with vendor selection, of course. And we vet all of our designs and client needs and goals and preferences through the initial submission process. So right up, front, we learn, is the design something that we need to be focusing on more budget friendly? As the client, really trying to just get the most out of it with the most effective, efficient products, versus just more extravagant materials and needs. And then that kind of drives the decisions and the products and the materials that we use on the homes. But to Allie's point, there's a number of different variables that go into that selection. And budget, of course, is one of them. It's probably the biggest. But then there's also geography. We wouldn't necessarily put black paint on a home that's in, the hottest climate in the country, whether it's Arizona or Florida. We would specify roof preferences based on the material that weathers the best in some of the hotter climates, whether it's salt or wind or sand. Same thing with siding. Then there's the maintenance factor. In some of these climates, do we know that the clients are looking for more lower maintenance because of where they're located, or their age, or their just functionality? So that determines some of the material selection. And of course, not to be left behind is style preference. And that also drives a lot of the material selection just based on what their architectural desires are, preferences, and who our suppliers can really match up with based on those needs and preferences.
Yeah, and I know you guys do a lot of different, types of homes. I know you've worked in the manufactured housing space quite a bit. You have clients all over. I know we're going to be partnering on some exciting things in the future too with you all. But you work from, the manufactured housing, single wide, double wide, all the way up to multi-million-dollar homes.
We treat every customer exactly the same. I mean, every project is different, and you're exactly right. We like to think like we've democratized home improvement and design, because it does make it accessible. Our product is accessible to almost everyone.
And I think that is incredible because, it's not always that you can have access to a design firm and they can produce something that is, high quality, that is affordable for everybody. It's almost like the Charles Schwab sort of idea of investing. Charles Schwab wanted to bring investments to, just the everyday person.
And I'll add to that, we also only do things that will return on investment. Mm-hmm. So we're not just throwing things on there that are a bad investment. Like everything we do, the thought behind it is, how will this bring you money at the end?
Yeah, so my Charles Schwab tie-in in investments actually.
Yes.
What would differentiate you guys from other sort of design firms? I'm sure you're starting to get a lot of competition out there now. People are like, wow, these two really know what they're doing.
Well, a couple things. One is AI has obviously moved into the space, and how we differentiate ourselves is we are real people. We are designers. We're human beings that are looking at your house, reading your submission, looking at the architecture. We are real designers doing every single project. So that's how we differentiate ourselves from the AI competition. But from the actual architectural design firms that are out there, and they're everywhere, they were there when we started, we really are a different product offering. Because like I said earlier, we look at ourselves as for the everyman. I mean, we're democratizing home exteriors. So an architectural design firm is expensive, and it's a whole different offering really than what Brick and Batten is, which is a virtual experience, but it's also that we pull from lots of different designers and lots of different, interests on Pinterest and Facebook and magazines and all kinds of different design aesthetics. We can pull them all together to give you the absolute best situation for your house. Whereas a lot of architectural design firms, they're pulling from their pocket of what they do. They do it brilliantly, but we like to think we're more all-encompassing.
Yeah, I agree. So tell us about the process too, because it's pretty easy. I mean, we worked with you guys. So how do you do like start to finish with a client?
I mean, this is something I love working on. I help develop sort of our client process from start to finish with Allie and Cassie. And it's, continued to be a work in process, but I think we've got a pretty good one going, and it's straightforward and our clients appreciate the ease of it. But basically, the first thing a client has to do is take a high resolution photo of the outside of their home or have a blueprint on hand. We can design either one of two ways, using the high resolution photo or using a blueprint. So basically starting from scratch and filling in all the design needs via a blueprint. And then the client has to fill out a short survey. The survey just walks them through a number of questions that helps them to really specify design goals and preferences. And then we also have the option, if the client's a little bit uncertain about, what their design focus is or their preferences, they can take a style quiz that's on our website. And that helps them understand whether they're traditional or transitional or coastal or mid-century modern or maybe they like a little bit of everything. And so then that's really our challenge as a design team, to put together something that encompasses a little bit of both. That's where the fun kind of begins for us. And then after
Yeah.
they fill out that survey, uh, each client gets a designated project manager. And the project manager then, reviews all the input, makes sure that we have all the photos, inspiration pictures, videos, everything that they submit as part of that process. And if there's any gaps there, that project manager can follow up with them or request additional information. And the team gets to work, and they
Yeah.
have up to 16 working business days to turn the design around. And then after we deliver the great design, the client has the option to submit for a full free round of revisions. Just has to be within 2 months of, after receiving their design, so we can just timely address their needs. And then we basically make any changes that we jointly agree would make sense for the house, and hope that they're super satisfied with the end result. And then the very, very last part of the process is we actually have the option to put our clients in touch with a network of professionals. We have everything from landscapers to general contractors, to painters, specialists, people who install, chimneys or, special lighting needs, that sort of thing, in our network of professional contractors.
I think that's incredible. So you're able to produce all these things. You have a team of people working on designs. And then you also have a deliverable where it actually outlines the paint colors, where you can purchase the paint colors. I mean, that is incredible for under $1,000.
It is an incredible value. And I want to add to what Bridget said, that there are multiple eyes on the project as it's going along. So it's also it's not one person's opinion about how it looks. You've got multiple touch points along the way. So it's almost getting like a team of people who are looking at everything from not just the design aesthetic, but also the finished product. Did we put the shadows in the right place? It's a pretty real depiction of what you're going to get when you actually go to do the work.
When you guys are designing, are you also thinking about sustainability and those types of things?
For sure. Yeah. And we also, a lot of our clients live on the West Coast, where that is at the forefront, whether it's, doing their landscaping in a way that's xeriscape, that doesn't take a lot of water, using James Hardy siding where it's going to last, and things that will hold up to the wildfires. I mean, it's always top of mind for us. It's rare that we would do, even in this day and age, a big green yard. I mean, that's kind of gone. It's more now pebble, mulch, things we can do that take away from that a little bit and find other layers of interest. But for sure, first and foremost is sustainability for us.
I'll just add in, we have a really extensive editorial team. And, I would say, to pat us on the back, we kind of are the content leaders in the exterior design space. So they do spend a lot of time researching these topics and putting out, information on the latest trends and sustainable ideas of that nature.
So tell me, what is like your most memorable project that you guys have worked on?
There are so many different client stories. I mean, some of our clients will submit novels, as part of their order submissions. And, it's fascinating to read them and just see how we can help these people. But I do think the ones who are memorializing or doing something that, as a result of a storm or a loss or, any sort of change that just helps to brighten their future and make their home more meaningful and have significance. Like one time I can remember we sent a tree. You probably remember this one, Allie, to a homeowner who had lost their daughter, and it was a memorial tree that we actually rendered in the design as part of the design. And then we actually sent the tree to them to plant in their front yard after they received the design, because the order and the client just moved us so much. It was just such a touching story. So it's really a rewarding business in that way, to be able to help people and transform their lives and their homes, literally.
What do you hope clients will get out of the experience and achieve through your designs?
The hope for me is always, and what keeps me up at night, is that they're going to open the deliverable and be so excited to get started. Like, I think that's, Even for me
Yeah.
personally, when I've had stuff done to my house or it's like that buzz inside me of like, I cannot wait to see how this looks. I want them to feel that.
I would absolutely agree with that. I know Allie, the entire design team wants every design to be a home run. That's the goal at the end of every project. And, together, when we get those positive reviews from clients, it just keeps the team going. They just want
Yeah.
to deliver each time and have every client come back with just glowing reviews and happy, positive experiences working with the company.
I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, you took a lot of time out of your busy schedule today to jump on our podcast and
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
really appreciate it.